up, ladies and gentlemen, here on Circle Debate Podcast, episode number 27. Yeah, 27. That's right. We'll go ahead and give our thoughts about Hell in a Cell this past. Also, pro wrestling news upcoming up on the United Wrestling Network Tournament Championship bracket. Also, as well, a WWE Superstars Last Run. What does he mean by that? We don't know what he means by that. And also, give you as well this ROH Pure Title Tournament update. Who made it to the finals? And who will be facing each other next Monday for the ROH Pure Championship. Also, as well, this past week's NXT and AEW Dynamite. So stay tuned as this Halloween special for Circle Debate 27 starts now. Yeah! We get a head chant going on. Head, 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 head.
On the inside, you are innocent, personified, and I will drag you down and sell you out. Run away. I am cold like December snow. I have carved out this soul made of stone, and I will drag you down and sell you out.
Ooh, what an entrance for everybody here. That was an entrance. What the hell's going on over there?
Is it me?
No, it looks like it's... I hear Bray.
Oh, shit.
What's going on? What the hell's going on over there? What is it doing? What the
I'm legit terrified.
I know. I thought it was Hogan. Ah! Whoa! It is the Fiend. What happened to Hogan?
Hogan who?
Let me in.
Let him in.
That's right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Circle of Me podcast, episode number 27. Happy Halloween to everyone. It's the Halloween special here, obviously, with the host of Devious One, obviously, alongside with my brothers from another mothers. We got the one, what does everybody want? And what does everybody need? That's right. And that is the CK1 himself, Mr. Chris Kennedy. That's Al Snow right there, ladies and gentlemen. And also we have the Painmaker, the goat of all goats.
I am the best in the world at what I do.
And that is Mr. MGC Matthew Steve. Painmaker Cabron. And also, we thought we had Hogan for a minute. It looks like we had the Fiend. The Fiend of all fiends that took over the great American hero, Mike Lopez, and that is Mike White. Right
The red lights and everything.
That's right, that's right. I love that. I love it. Good job on us. Good job on the point on us. Well, let's go ahead and start this off, ladies and gentlemen. What a great weekend of professional wrestling also this past week. We just want to get this started off now, get this off our chest. Obviously, you guys saw the Hell of a Cell pay-per-view that happened this past Sunday. So I'll go ahead and ask you, Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts about the event. What did you like about it? What you didn't like about it? A lot of championship changes. What are your thoughts about it?
It's in due time for several championship changes, but I must say there's only one first ever undisputed champion, and that's me. Y2J.
Our Mr. White, what are your thoughts about the Hell in a Cell?
It was a hell of a good time, I'll tell you what. For me, the whole pay-per-view itself, it was better than Night of Champions or Clash of Champions, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I actually found myself enjoying the Roman Reigns match quite more than I thought I would.
I see. Mr. CK1, your thoughts about what you've seen so far? What do you think about the event so far? What you've seen?
I don't know where they're going to go with the head of the table or head of the tribe gimmick with Roman, because that's it. He did it. He proved it. His dad and Wild Samoans came out and accepted him as, I guess, the new king. I guess that was a little changing of the guard moment, but
yeah.
It buries the Usos for sure. Probably and hopefully sends them back to the tag division because they are the greatest tag team of the modern generation. Them and New Day basically are like tied for that title. You can't come back from that. Jay's had 2 chances. He's lost. He's been slaughtered both chances. Took out Jimmy in the process.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see just who he feuds with next and what point he has to prove, because he did it. He's the champion. Beat the shit out of his own cousins. What's he going to do next? Take out Rikishi?
Yeah.
To me, that's the real head of the table right there, because he did it for The Rock.
I did it for the people.
So that's my biggest question mark right there is what's next? Or, who's next?
Oh, that's right. You're absolutely right. It could be Goldberg. You never know. Ever since Goldberg
Spear versus Spear match, man. I don't see why that's a problem. That seems
I think that might be after Survivor Series probably matchup. We might see that for December.
I don't think Goldberg's really that done, especially since he comes back for those short bursts.
I still remember
He'll do like a 3 month, very effective 3 month run.
It was my idea to have Goldberg spear me out of my shoes on an episode of Nitro, but that angle never happened.
But most definitely, yes, that feud is intriguing right now with the whole tribal feud. I'm with you with that. I don't know where they're going with it, but hopefully they need to find a new feud. No disrespect to the Usos, but they need to find a new feud.
The Usos are great, but I don't see them anytime soon being actual contenders to the title. If it wasn't Roman Reigns, it wouldn't have been Jay or Jimmy versus anyone for a title. It wouldn't have been like, that was the connecting matchup was versus a family member.
Yeah, agreed. And also we had another championship change. Sasha Banks now becoming the Grand Slam champion, winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. So congratulations to Sasha. Finally, she did it. Great job, phenomenal work. And obviously we have now a 14th time, and that is Randy Orton becoming the WWE champion again for the 14th time. And so I want to see how long he's going to last with this, with the championship belt. Is he going to last until maybe before Survivor Series or after? So we do not know where the outcome of it yet. So there's more to come when it comes to that. So I'm glad everybody enjoyed Hell in a Cell. I would say I kind of enjoyed it myself. I was intrigued with everything overall, especially the women's, in my opinion, stole the show.
Yeah.
Overall. And Sasha and Bailey, they tore the house down. And I'm happy.
It's a very common theme amongst when you put Banks or Bailey, almost any combination of them in any kind of match with anyone else, and especially including them together, they're probably going to steal the show.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
There's a combination of about 4 to 6 women that you can mix a match, and they're just going to be hard to beat for sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So let's go ahead and move on with that. Let's go ahead and move on with Raw. Obviously, they already announced plenty of matches already for the upcoming Survivor Series for November 22nd. Obviously, we saw so far Team Raw, which is AJ Styles defeating Jeff Hardy because of Elias, Keith Lee defeating Elias because of Jeff Hardy, and Sheamus defeating Matt Riddle. Now, we all know the speculation with Riddle's situation being sued by Cartwright in regards to the sexual scandal. So this is a very difficult time for Mr. Riddle. Knowing as well that he's getting buried. Don't get me wrong, the match was great between them and Sheamus. So with this lawsuit going, I'll ask you, Mr. Bray Wyatt, Mr. Mike Wyatt, do you feel Matt Riddle's career is in jeopardy, or do you feel they're going to keep him lay low until this gets situated out of the way?
I think he'll be fine. In the end, it's going to be a long road back to having any push, I actually think that I honestly think that he's talented enough to make a comeback from all this. So I think he'll be fine.
All right, Mr. Painmaker, your thoughts?
I gotta say, there was always the talk of that possible feud he wanted to do with Brock Lesnar, but that turned into something else. So, I've got high hopes for what Matt Riddle can do and become. But he'll never be as good as me because I was the first undisputed champion. So,
Mr. Snow, what are your thoughts about Riddle's career at this point?
Vince hates first names. So they're already trying to turn him into just Riddle.
Yep.
Which is never a good thing. I mean, there's never been a change like that has yielded positive results. They did it recently with Murphy or Buddy. I forget which one he's going by. I think it's
Murphy now.
Murphy, right? Buddy would be terrible. But regarding allegations with Matt, obviously take them seriously. Absolutely. Because if you're wrong, you're so wrong. But WWE has not yet pulled him from television with examples like Lars Sullivan and Velveteen Dream, and even over across the continent with AEW and Sammy. Those guys were all pulled immediately when any type of smoke started to arise.
Yeah.
So I don't know if WWE has a strong case to defend him, I know that the lawsuit itself is asking for a substantial amount of money from many parties involved. Obviously, WWE has the lawyer army on their side. So I don't know if they know something that's keeping them from pulling Matt from TV right away. If they're confident that these allegations will be either dropped, settled, or cleared. But as far as burying Matt for that reason, I would always err on the side of be safe with the accusations, but don't have any fact-based opinions until something's settled in the court of law.
I agree.
You know, which is fair to everybody, because the things that he's being accused of, they could be true, and be careful with that. But don't destroy a man's career until he does it himself.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Don't bury him as on his way out. If you just either pull him from TV, put him back on in the same push, because he was in a push. He would beat AJ Styles like in his first SmackDown match ever, which is absurd.
That was huge.
Yeah, that's big. That's like when Kevin Owens came and beat John Cena. I just don't know where they're gonna go with this at all. I anticipate something happening where we get our closure. I hope the woman who does her the accusing, I hope she finds some kind of peace, closure, and truth in all of this, and people can just go their separate ways. Whether it's for her, for him, whatever, man. It's just it's up to the courts to decide. But I wouldn't rush a decision on Matt's career right now. I wouldn't say he's up or down.
All right, that's good. I love it. You're absolutely right about that. And now, obviously, as well, within that, they already announced the women's Raw team, which was Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Lana, who was unexpected. We've been seeing a lot of these, recent weeks of Lana being buried. I don't know what is this like the sixth time that she got, 8th time that she went to the table. Oh, 7. Okay, 6th time he went to the table.
Yeah, I was doing the 3D.
Okay, yeah,
I was going to get the tables.
6th time going to the table, and now winning this, this fatal 4-way to join the Ross team. Obviously, Miro, basically he commented, basically stating, yeah, they're pretty much burying her, the fact, and pushing her at the same time because the fact that he left. But I don't know if that seemed to be true. So we'll see how, the SmackDown Women's one, how it turns out to be. So far, so good. And also, we got the New Day versus the Street Profits. We got that match announced already. Lashley, Sami Zayn. I'm looking forward to that one. And Roman and Randy Orton. So by far, because there's already rumor around your windows, which, yes, fuck you, Dave Meltzer, okay, and Brian Alvarez. But, yes, it might be, rumor in your window. They might switch it. It might be back to Drew with regaining the belt versus Roman, because that's what they kind of want.
I kind of see Drew getting the belt back a lot quicker than we think.
Yeah. We might see it next, this following Monday coming up. We might see that happening.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be that soon, but I don't think it's going to be till before. I don't see Orton holding the belt till the end of the year or anything like that.
Yep, definitely agreed. Now, one thing that actually caught everybody's eye, and they're wondering why, which I would ask you guys your opinions about it, NXT is not involved this year. So as you can see, NXT were involved last year's Survivor Series, and now this year they're not. Now I'll ask you, Mr. CK1, do you think that's a good move or a bad move that NXT is not involved in this Survivor Series this year?
I'm going to have to look up who was on the NXT team last year. Was it NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw, right?
Yes.
And that's when Keith Lee stole the show?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Bam. I don't know why they wouldn't be doing that again. It's a great chance to push their roster in the eyes of people who don't still know about NXT. And if you don't know about NXT, I mean, I can't blame you, but get with the program, man, because you are missing some of the best wrestling in the past 50 years. I can't fathom, why – well, okay, so I can actually fathom why, and there is always that underlying rumor that Vince doesn't like the undercard showing up his big guys. And that's what happened last year.
Yes.
You had he still, I believe, looks at NXT as the training center. It's still what was it, FCW or something like that?
Right. Yeah.
So he still considers you going from main roster to NXT as a promotion or a demotion. So I think he may be afraid of especially the roster they have now coming up and just showing up the main roster. But to counter that, the main roster, most of the people in that Survivor Series are NXT guys.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I mean, a lot of them were not long from the roster before they got pulled up. So I don't know. I literally just I have no idea what they're thinking. It was great exposure. It pushed a lot of stars. It pushed Keith Lee. Then we saw him in the Rumble, pushed him again. Now he's on the main roster with some terrible music and beat Randy Orton in his first match, right?
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, you know, like, I don't know, man. Just let H run everything. Just let him just do it, man. Just give him a year. Give him a trial period.
That's
let
what
him
he
see
needs.
what he does. Put a wager. Put a ratings wager. If he can get average rating over the course of 6 months higher than what's going on now, then he can get full reign of the company.
Definitely, agreed.
At least creative. That's what I mean. But yeah, that's how I feel about things right now.
That's right. Mr. Mike White, your thoughts? You can give me just a yes or no. I can't really hear you. There you go.
There you are.
Okay, so I feel that Triple H is doing a better job than McMahon, honestly, in all counts. You know, he's taking the third brand, and I feel more interested in it than the main roster sometimes. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really think Triple H should be put in charge.
That's right. Mr. Painmaker, thoughts?
I gotta say, I wanted NXT for my cruise, but they didn't let me have them. I even asked Triple H nicely. But it was a blessing in disguise because I got to work with Ring of Honor on my cruise instead. So that was pretty cool. But Triple H is doing a pretty bang up job with NXT, although he ended my undisputed title reign, and I will not forgive him for that. And I want my title.
You want your title back?
He got to hold that beautiful undisputed championship belt before I did.
Speaking of Ring of Honor, let's go ahead and essentially move on with that. Ring of Honor, as what happened this past week with the pure title tournament, keep on going on. We had the last, Final Four fighting to who's going to make it to the finals, which we had Jonathan Gresham beating Josh Woods, and that was an incredible match. People that have not seen it, see it on YouTube, on the Ring of Honor YouTube channel. Amazing match between the Octopus and obviously Mr. Woods. That was an amazing match. I love it. And on the unexpected, everybody thought it would be Lethal versus, Gresham in the finals. But the hot sauce, Tracy Williams, overcame and defeated Jay Lethal. And that was a shocker to everyone. That's why I was all over social media on Twitter. So stay tuned for this upcoming up Monday, the finals, who will be crowned a new Ring of Honor Pure Champion between the Octopus, as Jonathan Gresham, and the hot sauce, Tracy Williams. So stay tuned for that on Monday. Now, also wanted to bring up right quick, which is Impact, Bound for Glory right quick. We did see a lot of title changes, which I want to congratulate to Rich Swann becoming the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations defeating Eric Young. And also
he's come a long way.
He has come
finished, but he has come a long way, and I can appreciate that. So
definitely, you're absolutely right, and he did come a long way, as well as his girl, as Sue Young, actually winning back the Women's Impact Championship. So congratulations to them. The North regaining the Tag Team Championships, and that was another amazing match, but it was just unexpectedly, I guess, Alex Shelley was hurt, so he didn't really compete on that. So people who have not seen the replay, make sure you watch that replay for Bound for Glory. Make sure you tune in. And a lot of returns, too, in the Battle Royal. Call your shot. You get the return of James Storm, the return of Sean Devare. He looks in great shape for his age. And also you had Swaggle showing up. Swaggle, what is he doing there? So, we have Swaggle showing up. But it was the winner was Rhino who won that one. He saved, Heath Miller, his job from, not getting fired from Impact. So that was a great pay-per-view. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that and watch the replay on any social media live platforms. And also we did see the Hall of Fame, Ken Shamrock being inducted in the Hall of Fame for Impact. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, inducting him in the Hall of Fame, which was a shocker. Nobody thought it would happen. You also had Bret Hart and Mick Foley giving their kudos to Ken Shamrock, which he was very emotional of his speech. So I'm really happy for him. I wish he could be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Mr. Vinny, fucking call us.
I gotta say, this actually shows something. If The Rock could actually appear on Impact Television, that means a lot of the WWE legends are really free to appear on different promotions, a lot more than we think. You know, especially in The Rock's position, he definitely has full flexibility.
It comes down to your independent contractor contract, which The Rock doesn't have. Mick Foley does not have. If these particular wrestlers do an appearance on WWE TV, that it is a non-wrestling format, they don't got to sign anything. If you remember when The Rock came out at the Staples Center after a Raw, I believe, and he talked to the crowd, they were filming for Fighting for My Family. That's when he called CM Punk on his cell phone, whatever. Yeah. That was non-contractual. So you only sign a contract for appearances if you are wrestling. Then you also obviously have that no-show clause, which means within 6 months of your contract you can't show up. So anyone without a wrestling contract could technically show up.
And
anywhere they want to.
I gotta say this. Tony Khan did say he will pay any amount of money for Stone Cold to appear on AEW. He said that straight out.
Yeah, and he can't.
It's not gonna happen.
He owns 90% of everything fun to do in Florida. He could afford to do so, but you know, I don't know, man. You can get JR. JR could talk him into it. I mean,
but he will have to go out Steve Austin.
Is his boy, so
he will have to go out Steve Austin. He can't go out Stone Cold. Obviously, you know, the Stone
Cold for sure. He'd have to be even the Austin thing might be trademarked too. That's very, very detailed.
Actually, no, he is. That's legally his last name now. So he owns that. So that Vince cannot trade.
Can you imagine him just coming out of Steve Williams, or whatever? Yeah.
Stunning Steve on AEW. It's Stunning Steve Williams.
But
like Ivan said, Ken Shamrock in WWE Hall of Fame, probably. I wouldn't be mad about it.
He should have gotten it a year or before that, a while back already. He should have been in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he hasn't been in WWF since 2001, maybe earlier. I got to go back and find out that second fight with Tito Ortiz.
Yeah.
That was his first fight back from pro wrestling. And
yeah, definitely. So, I mean, now let's go ahead and move on with pro wrestling news, ladies and gentlemen. So the man who announced after SmackDown stating that this is my last run was none other than Daniel Bryan. He announced it himself that he's going to have his last run as a performer in WWE. So what's the future hold for Mr. Daniel Bryan? So I'll ask you, Mr. Mike Wyatt, your thoughts about Daniel Bryan's future. Do you see him be a producer, a road agent, or a head trainer? Or where do you see the future for Daniel Bryan? Or do you see him leaving WWE?
He's not leaving WWE. I'm pretty sure he wants to end up in the WWE Hall of Fame, you know. So, you know, I'm pretty sure he's going to stay right there and finish off his career. And if we know anything about WWE, it's that they do, when they like someone, they send them off pretty well.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Mr. Steamboat, Mr. Painmaker, excuse me, your thoughts?
Many possibilities.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's right. Mr. Hardcore himself, CK1, what are your thoughts? Do you see him staying or going?
There are many possibilities, but I think it could be any one of these very realistic ones. I think he could ride off into the sunset and get a version of Total Divas with just him and Brie. Because, you know, they are raising that family. They do have another kid on the way, or they might have already popped that one out. I don't really care. He did work so hard to come back from that retirement, and he had a great run as the People's Cleaner. What was that? The Recycle Champion?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I love that character. I loved it. I wish he was still. That was one of my favorite heels. I don't know why they literally turned him into a face overnight, and I hated that. They went right back to good old boy Daniel Bryan right away. I don't see him being I mean, maybe he could be a trainer. Maybe he could be like, I know there's specialty trainers. Like when Ronda was training, it was just her and Triple H. He could be something like that. I think if he does retire and he's not going to be in the ring, he's not going to want to be on the road, which eliminates him from being a road agent or creative. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's either going to be in the ring or it's going to be on the couch.
Well, definitely. Well, the way how I see it, You're right. I don't think he might leave. But there's two ways out of this one. He could, like I said, okay, he won't be a road agent. But one thing he will focus on is creative. He could be creative at home. Because of his influence, he did pursue pushing Kofi Kingston to win the championship at WrestleMania last year. He pursued for that storyline. And because Vince was not into Kofi. But as the crowd was coming in before all this situation happened, when he replaced, I forgot who he placed at Elimination Chamber, and prior to that, Mustafa. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So
who knows?
From there, it clicked, and Daniel Bryan sees it, and it worked out, and it worked out for the best for Kofi, and now he's seeing the same for Big E. He told Big E, I think it's time for your singles, run, and for you to get a shot at the heavyweight championship. And I wouldn't be surprised that Daniel's the one pushing it behind the scenes, like pushing this guy. He went directly to Vince to push Kofi. Now imagine him going directly to Vince, push Big E. You need to push Big E. So Daniel Bryan has a lot of influence behind the scenes, and which I love it. Now the other worst case scenario he could do, you never know. He might want to leave, go to AEW, wrestle these dream matches. Kenny Omega, Kenny Omega might want to go ahead and wrestle. Pentagon. There's the potential roster that AEW has.
That's a different list.
It's Daniel Bryan can differently. That's a different list.
You got me smiling, homie. You got me smiling. I didn't even think about that.
He can go over there and just make something out of it. And
they have said Daniel Bryan is like the millennials basically represent. One person on YouTube said he's like the representative of millennial wrestlers. What would the
He's the indie darling. That was his gimmick when he came over.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah,
and because of him and CM Punk and other alumnis who are now in WWE like Joe Rollins, everywhere else, it wasn't for them pushing the independent promotions more, especially Daniel Bryan, him being the American Dragon.
Hell yeah.
And so imagine maybe he wants the last run out of WWE and just go to the AEW, maybe go to Ring of Honor, maybe go to NWA, go New Japan maybe as well.
Japan.
That'll be another great match.
In Japan.
Oh my God, him versus Okada, Jay White. This could go on.
Bushi.
Even Bushi, Naito. I hope it does happen. But I hope that he leaves in good terms. I think he will leave in good terms with Vince, and Vince should not be mad about it or upset. Like, the hell with it. Damn, pal. Like, let him go. His job is done.
Daniel Bryan has every right in the world to remain a company man.
Yes.
But you got me so excited on all those possibilities that,
Yeah.
Ring of Honor is his history, the American Dragon's legacy, the return of the American Dragon.
Right, challenging for the pure Ring of Honor championship.
That would be the shot of adrenaline I think Ring of Honor needs right now, because when you talk about wrestling promotions, this is the first time in a long time, 30 years almost, that you've had a number 2 brand. And we actually have a number 3 brand. If people are sleeping on Impact right now, check them out. They're doing good stuff in the same vein that AEW is. It's a little more carnal. It's a little more realistic. But Ring of Honor is right there in the mix. They just either, maybe it's because I'm in California, they don't have the TV deals or the marketing deals that put the eyes on them out here. But they're a legit number 3 or number 4 promotion. And if you put Daniel Bryan in there, you are going to get people. They're going to become easily number 3.
Definitely. Agreed 100%. Speaking of people leaving, now we did see, just want to go ahead and give the results to everybody who needs to tune in to Primetime TV, to United Wrestling Network. You gotta, you'll see the description below, and we'll go ahead and actually put all the description and then giving you guys a result as we speak right now.
Well, if you're watching this, it's too late now, but you got a 2-second warning. 2-second warning as of right now. Go.
Obviously, we did have the the tournament, the first round, which we had Peter Avalon versus obviously Chris Dickerson. Dickerson actually won the match. He had advances. And also we had our homeboy Ray Rosas defending his World Heavyweight Championship, beating Ken Matterston, and great job. I love the match. Great, phenomenal match. You had the Bodegas beating the Real Money Brothers. That was another great and phenomenal match. And we had Serena Deebs defeating Thunder Rosa, becoming the NWA Women's Champion. Congratulations to Serena Deeb. Phenomenal work. You deserve it. I love that match. It was incredible. That was an instant classic. For you guys who have not seen it, watch that match. I really recommend it. And Serena Deeb put a hell of a tremendous work, and also with Rosa's performance. Now, with Rosa dropping the belt now there's rumor another your window. No, not you. Your 5 freaking stars bullshit motherfucker. No turn Brian Alvarez.
He's not gonna watch this. It's all good.
No, Alvarez watches shit. So fuck
He gave
you.
me
Okay,
5
okay.
stars.
He already blocked me on Twitter, so I don't give a shit.
He
But
gave me 5 stars here.
Yeah, he could give you 5 stars there. But there's already going around social media platforms about Thunder Rosa jumping ship to either WWE or will sign with AEW or will stay with NWA. There was a picture she put on her social media, pretty much pulling her shorts down, saying on her leg, saying WWE AEW NWA ? So I'll ask you, Mr. Steamboat, Mr. Painmaker. I'm sorry. Where do you see Thunder Rosa? The Steam Maker. There you go. The Steam Maker. Where do you see Thunder Rosa going?
She's already been to AEW, and she seems pretty comfortable seeing everybody knows her there already. So seeing her on regular TV regularly during the week, she's already used to the environment. She knows what it's like backstage. It seems I guess the most likely, the safe answer. And I gotta say, I don't know if we're gonna save it for later in the show, but what Serena is going to be defending that same title later on in the same week on AEW.
Gotta give her credit what's due.
Yeah,
definitely. Mr. CK1, where do you see Thunder Rosa going?
Well, first I want to say that I absolutely love that AEW and NWA came to an agreement to let that be a cross promotion. That is a beautiful thing. It is fantastic. It's very brave. The booking of it was awesome. They had Thunder Rosa come in and beat. No, she lost to Hikaru Shida. And then last night, was it last night? Yeah, lost to Serena Deeb, which that's a huge deal. Serena's come a long way from being part of the Straightest Society. That's for damn sure. I think that Thunder Rosa may want to collect some belts, and she may want to do that elsewhere. She might be on a world tour. I see her going to a place that's got flexible contracts. And right now we know that AEW and NWA have that cross promotion. She may get that rematch for the women's title in AEW. That might be the next move. She may go to Ring of Honor, which I think does let you go to Japan sometimes. That would be awesome too. I'd love to see that. She knows
could be like Bad Side L, appearing on both Ring of Honor.
Who we can get to tonight, who just had a match in AEW. But I don't know if she would want to be locked down in NXT and WWF. You have it on your wallpaper. I'm calling it.
I'm go retro.
This is for you, World Wildlife.
I think the Thunder Rosa World Tour continues. I think that if she doesn't stay in AEW, she's not going to a main roster where she can be put into a little box, be told what to do, lose to Nikki Cross 12 times in a row, whatever.
Yeah, instead of being over there, just go shit.
Yeah. She's amazing, and I'll watch her wherever she goes, and hopefully she makes the decisions that helps her out.
Definitely. Mr. Wyatt, your thoughts? Where's she going? Where's she staying?
He's invited to the fun house. Oh wait, never mind. I have Alexa Bliss there.
Oh, you're about to get her mad.
Let's see. I honestly, I think she's gonna go to. Well, I heard right before going on that I believe it was Billy Corgan who said that she's staying in NWA till 2021.
Okay.
So after that, sky's the limit. She's got momentum, and she's known as a good worker. So wherever she goes, we'll have an awesome talent in their hands.
Let's send her to GCW.
Oh, no.
Jeremy, if you're watching this.
Oh, Jeremy.
Start the bids, brother. Start the bids.
her and Shaul Guerrero.
Yeah. I was about to say, have her take the winner. Let's have her take on the winner of the Diamond Cup that's coming up November
13th.
Yeah.
13th. That's right.
That's the match to make.
Most definitely that will be the match to make. And I can't wait. And also, just make sure you guys, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for next week, for next Tuesday for Primetime TV, as the tournament is going to be going on. which David Marquez, once again, thank you for your support. Appreciate you very much. You booked a hell of a tournament, especially how you said you mixed it around. We had a debut of Leo Rush debuting over at United Wrestling Network. Looking forward to that.
I am a Rush fan here. Number one Leo Rush fan.
That's right.
He can do no wrong until he does wrong.
That's right. And also we have in that tournament, we have Davey Boy Smith versus Mike Bennett for the first rounds. And we have Fred Roser against Carl Fredericks. We also have Eric Redbeard versus Eric Watts. So stay tuned for that next week on Primetime TV, on FITE TV. So make sure you subscribe and watch the show. Now let's go ahead and move on. I want to go ahead and actually move on with another COVID scare again for NXT. They're getting in trouble, man. Papa Vinny, what are you doing? You're getting in trouble. As you can tell, they were having a little bit scary this past Friday before they began filming, before Wednesday's NXT Halloween Havoc. A lot of performers and backstage people were tested positive, so they were like there was a subject to changing the card. But good thing none of that ever happened, and they did allow the fans who purchased their tickets. They allowed 100 people in the facility. 100 people. They tested them on Tuesday. They came back negative, and they went, came on Wednesday to enjoy the show. They had them locked in their own family AirPods, so which we did see, which we will discuss about NXT in a few. But what are your thoughts, Mr. Wyatt? I'll go to you. Do you see what's that? What's going on with WWE doing this shit? I mean, are they doing the right move, or do you feel like they should not have no fans at all?
You know what? If I knew that they were doing family pods, I would have got one for the Wyatt family. Why not? Get Brody back, Redbeard, all the gang, Strowman. But I mean, they got to be careful. They got to make sure that the families don't contaminate each other. So it's kind of tricky because they've been known to have COVID cases. So tread lightly, WWE.
That's right. Mr. CK1, your thoughts?
Are they doing NXT at the Performance Center again, or is it the Thunderdome?
No, the Performance Center. There's it's Capital Performance Center now.
So is it essentially still full sale, or is it?
Yeah, it's still full sale.
So it's still in Florida.
Yes.
So check this out. NXT has, I don't know the numbers of positive tests they've had, obviously. But I do know that the number that the AEW facility has up there in Daly's place in the far north is considerably lower, or people are not. I know a few people may have been tested positive, wrestlers, the day before something and immediately were pulled from the card. There has to be a reason that one company is doing something different. AEW has had fans in a limited capacity for about 2 months now. NXT just started doing that again, and they're already botching up the COVID tests.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something careless. I don't know if it's a small facility and they're just packing people in there, if they're not testing the right way. There's a lot of things you can learn from even a new company like AEW. And there's been a lot of proof that WWE has been doing that. They did the guardrails, they pulled the fans, they put the hard camera in the front instead of to the side, so it looked like a better presentable package. They went Wednesday to Wednesday against them, then they went back to Tuesday versus Wednesday for NXT. They're not afraid to look at ideas AEW is come up with, and this is another one of them. They really need to look into why. They need to figure out what is AEW doing that's really minimizing outbreaks like that. I know the wrestlers live in a hotel that's probably at Daly's place. They quarantine for 14 days. They're doing a lot of things right. There's no reason a company that's worth several $1 billion is letting anything through the cracks like this.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with 100% with that. Mr. Painmaker, Steammaker, take it away.
There's only so much that there's only so safe that Vince McMahon will allow them to be, give me a chance, but he's giving COVID-19 too much of a chance.
Big time he is. I agree with 100% with that. He is giving a chance. And speaking who are not giving a chance with that is New Japan. As they announced, obviously, that there will be limited capacity for their annual Wrestle Kingdom coming up on January 4th to and the 5th, 2021. Tokyo Dome could, hold up 50,000. Now they're going to hold up 20,000.
Your arena is bigger than my arena. Is that the Saitama?
Naito beat me for the Intercontinental Champion right in this ring.
Is that Saitama arena?
They're going to space people further apart, kind of like, like you're going to see like barely a quarter of the amount of people sitting in this area.
Yeah.
With what I've been talking about.
Especially, is that
Macho Man.
Is that Saitama?
The Tokyo Dome.
This Tokyo Dome.
Okay. So I believe the circumference of that is an actual mile. So they have the room. They have the room.
They have the room. Yeah, definitely. They do have the room, and I'm looking forward to see how they're going to do that. And I know they're really strict on their, COVID testings and everything else.
Unless they want to park cars inside.
I don't think they want to do that. And the Tokyo Dome is pretty huge. I mean, it can hold up, I think, way over than 50,000. I believe it could do that. So, I mean, we're looking forward to that. We'll see how New Japan does a great job with that. Another person which I forgot to mention, and I do apologize, is also Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes are no longer an Impact. They're gone. Their contract expired. They left on mutual agreement. So now RBD and Katie Forbes is a free agent. So they can freelance anywhere. According to what Mr. Wade fucking Keller, fuck you too, was, like I said, we're giving our opinions, ladies and gentlemen. This is not our facts. We're not Meltzer. We're not on those pieces of shit. But our opinions about it. We're the fans just like you. Now, there's a Impact, the reason why they had Katie Forbes with RBD, they hired her because they did RBD a favor. That was his girl. But she's not a bad performer, in my opinion. But anyways, where do we see actually Mr. RBD going now? Now that he is able to freelance anywhere, any promotion. I mean, so I ask you, Mr. Hardcore, since you're the hardcore fan yourself, where do you see Mr. RBD going? Uh-oh.
Cleaner is coming for RBD.
Oh, that's right. He's going to AEW. Could he go to AEW?
Kenny Omega and RVD could very easily be the last match I ever need to see in my life, and then I can just stop watching pro wrestling. Make that feud last 3 weeks. Have it only be one match. I don't want a best of 7. I don't want a no DQ and then a falls count anywhere, ending it in an Iron Man match.
Not like the 2 matches Kenny had with me here.
Right, yeah. Have it be one good 30-minute match. That's it. That's all we need. That's it. That's end game right there. That is end.
He is the best bout machine.
Wrestling is over if you put that on an AEW pay-per-view.
We'll have to wait and see on that. Mr. Mike White, what are your thoughts?
RVD in AEW.
That's right.
So I must, Mr. Painmaker, you feel the same?
I must say, like, one of the most where RVD going back to Impact or going to United Wrestling in Hollywood wouldn't really be a big, it wouldn't be worthwhile. Number one, going back to WWE, you know how they are with the ganja. They're very uptight about that stuff. You see,
yeah.
Remember, keep in mind Florida and AEW and the amount of liberal people in AEW and the amount, and Tony Khan being a younger guy. And let's not forget our friends in GCW. They used to be GCW 420.
That's right.
Fest or Canifest.
Yeah. So with that being said, very, very, I think they'll be very supportive of RVD's causes, beliefs, and lifestyle there. More so than than the other 2 organizations. Like if I was Rob Van Dam, like why would I want to go to New Japan? They're not going to allow me to bring the there. I can't do that there. I can't do that in pro wrestling, Noah.
That is sound.
This is the main reason. Like AEW is the only choice. Like this is why.
That's right. Definitely, I agree that RBD should make an AEW run as well. As obviously we're seeing a lot of these performers that are now going to be released pretty soon, and They should. This is a dream match that we all would like to see in the first place. Now that we have Kenny Omega in the States, now we have the Bucks in the States. We have all this potential.
We have the cleaner back. We
have the cleaner.
I'll get into that after whatever you have next.
Once we get to AEW.
Yeah, before we get to AEW. But one more last, the final topic now for these pro wrestling news before we move on with NXT. I want to go ahead and actually first give a shout out to Dirty HEELZ podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. We love you, brothers. Brother Bub, Kofi Wieston. You got to give the people what they want, man. You got to give it to them. Yeah.
They want the smoke.
They want the smoke. And also shout out to our brother from another mother, also Generation Championship
Wrestling, Jeremy.
That's right. We appreciate you guys for love and support.
Rest in peace to Tracy Smothers.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Also one more thing. Yes, rest in peace for the man, the legend himself. That is Mr. Tracy Smothers.
I think what was his? He did the dance.
The dance. The Wild Southern Boy gimmick with the tag team partner was Steve Armstrong. Oh man,
I loved him in FBI.
I loved him in FBI.
He was in the wheelchair. I think since he arrived in ECW, he was in the wheelchair. He get wheeled out with the FBI, and then like a year later, he just gets out of the wheelchair and starts beating the shit out of somebody with a Singapore cane. And Joey Styles was like, "It's a miracle! Tracy Smothers can walk! God save the Lord! It's a miracle!" And it's like, holy shit, dude! He ran that gimmick for a year. It paid off so well.
Definitely, man. And a former Smoky Mountain, wrestling world champion as well. So condolences to the family, and we will miss you. Rest in paradise, Mr. Smothers. Now, the last thing that WWE has been not doing as of well is they're hosting counseling sessions. And they're not optional. These are mandatory for all of their talents, even the backstage, producers, everyone. Reason because with the whole moving, outspoken movement of, with the whole sexual harassment, with the whole sexual abuse. So they want to make it the work environment professional and make everybody to be feeling comfortable and have a great chemistry, a good, healthy family chemistry within each other. So I'll ask you, Mr. Painmaker, your thoughts. Is that a good move on their part for WWE, or you think they should not get involved at all when it comes to that?
It really depends on how those counseling sessions are when you attend them, because there's some work counseling sessions just letting you guys know so-and-so passed away and everybody has to show up at 4 and blah, 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 blah. There's the right way to go about it and there's the wrong way to go about it. So it really depends on the details. The answer's in the details.
Agreed. Mr. Wyatt, your thoughts?
Yeah, any kind of training, I guess, will be fine. But I don't know. I mean, is this specifically for that, or
it's specifically for that, for the whole COVID outbreak? Just everything was going around the world current events, and obviously going around within, and in the pro wrestling industry as well, with the movement, everything detail you can think about.
We live in a really weird year. A lot of stuff going on by the day, it feels like. So I'm pretty sure it's hitting some people, especially for them that are still traveling out, leaving their families, even if it's for lesser days. But these are not normal times. And, who knows, maybe some people need it.
Yeah, definitely. Mr. Snow, your thoughts?
I don't know the specifics of these particular mandatory conversations you have to have with a therapist.
Yes,
that's insane. for lack of a better word. Generally, a job will have obviously employee handbook with guidelines written by HR. What to say, what not to say. Those are totally normal. Speaking to HR on specific instances that were violated, obviously, is absolutely normal. If you say or do something that violates a rule, depending on the severity, you will get a talking to, a hand slap, or a termination. But to make people attend a therapy lesson or session, I don't know if it's supposed to educate them on what not to do in certain circumstances, or is it just to discuss their feelings about these circumstances? I don't know that detail.
Yeah, I believe it's overall, though.
Yeah, so it's like what Mike said. It's a weird year. I think it may come down to WWE having some kind of cover your ass clause where they went to their lawyers, they went through their HR, and they said, as long as we make our wrestlers talk to these particular people and then they get accused of something, we are in the clear. I think that's what it's coming down to. It's one of those, as you know right now with Matt Riddle, the lawsuit is not only against Matt, but it's also against, I think,
WWE.
His manager, and then also against WWE. I think this is a precautionary measure in advance of this happening again.
Yeah.
So if you attend this session, WWE is clear of any accusations against said party. That's what I think it comes down to.
Agreed. I believe that 100%. That's probably like the easy way out of any future lawsuits or anything that comes.
Yeah,
upon.
we talked to him. We did our part. So anything that he says, we are not a part of. That's the old Mission Impossible. Should you become caught or killed, we disavow all knowledge of your existence. It's what they're doing right there.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Make sure you tune in to the commercials that we have. Make sure to our SoCal natives that lives in Southern California, anywhere else in SoCal, make sure you go ahead and stop by the Wrestling Guy store. Make sure you go stop by there, purchase all your pro wrestling merchandise, action figures, shirts off WWE. Just make sure you actually jump in that store. And if you watch the interview with the owner himself, David Gomez, if you mention one of our names or the podcast itself, 10% off. 10% off of your merchandise if you mention it to the owner, Mr. David Gomez. So make sure you guys, go to the Wrestling Guy store. We'll probably see the description below the website, the address, location, and you will see the upcoming commercial as well. And also another commercial as well, which is our brother from another mother, Jeremy Gomez, upcoming event for all Tampa Bay, Florida residents. Make sure you stay tuned for November 13th, and that is the Diamond Cup, that is Generation Championship Wrestling will be premiering, which we have the in-ring debut of Shao Guerrero. So make sure that you guys tune into that tournament as well. We will have a description below where you can actually purchase your tickets, and also where you can watch live stream for anyone else who are not in Tampa, nationwide, international-wide as well. So we'll be right back. So make sure you tune into this break after these messages from Bray Wyatt. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Circle of the Bay podcast. Once again, don't forget to buy your pro wrestling merchandise at the Wrestling Guy store. Also, don't forget to check out the Generation Championship Wrestling Tampa, Florida as well, November 13th. And November 7th, don't forget to go ahead and go to the Wrestling Guy store at Shao Guerrero, and Matt Reedhold will be there as well, meet and greet. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Now let's go ahead and move on with the NXT Hollywood Havoc pay-per-view. I guess it's not a pay-per-view, it's a show. But I want to go ahead and ask you guys the setup of it. I mean, we're all expecting old school classic vintage WCW with the pumpkin. They did have the pumpkin, but they had a fucking smiling pumpkin, man. They fucking killed it, but I get it because it's PG. So, I mean, kiss my ass.
Come on, I got hair on my face.
There you go. And so, I'll ask you, Mr. White, your thoughts about the setup of the Halloween Havoc event. Did you like the setup, how they did it?
I feel I liked it overall. I do feel that the pumpkin was lame, but I think I liked how they did pretty much most of the setup, the gravestones and the fog and the Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Lumis match. That one, the way they used everything and the zombies, that was pretty cool for me.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. Mr. Painmaker, your thoughts?
Once again, I'm so proud of Shotzi for, new talent is always a good choice. I think she's probably the best part of the show. And then, the wheel, for the most part, making it unique. Like, You know, I at first I was salty that it wasn't AEW that was doing it, you know, and then WWE holding on to that trademark. But when they went with Shotzi, I'm like, okay. I like where they're going. So
Definitely. I love how she looked. She switched costumes, 3 different times, I believe so. Wow. I was impressed with her. Like, her hosting it was really good. I give it a thumbs up for Havoc. And then, obviously, we had Gargano, switching. Becoming again the North American champion, defeating Damian Priest. Yep, that's right. So I'm going to ask Mr. Hardcore himself, CK1, your thoughts about. That's right. I was sad too. They took the belt too soon away from Damian Priest. Do you agree or disagree?
Johnny Gargano doesn't need to ever hold the title in NXT ever again. And that was prior to last night. I like the Archer of Infamy a lot. He reminds me of Vampiro in all the right reasons. He reminds me of the WCW guys that were kind of homegrown, but did well for themselves. You know, the guys that weren't the NWO, the guys that were just under the radar, but ended up becoming something on their own without Hogan's push or without Bischoff pushing them. Unless they're going to – man, I hate that it's considered a graduation to lose your title in NXT. Because that's generally what happens. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping with, and this is a segue into the Cameron Grimes match against Dexter Lumis. I'm hoping we get maybe Archer of Infamy versus Dexter Lumis for a #1 contender match. And that winner can maybe go on to the main title. Hopefully, Karrion Kross comes back soon, helps solve that heavyweight championship roster puzzle. Obviously, he would not have lost the title had he not been injured.
Right.
And same thing with Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis was set to win the North American title during that tournament.
Yes.
So we just have to shift a few things. I think Damian Priest goes up to the heavyweight championship. Dexter Lumis starts the feud with maybe Gargano, wins the title that way. That'd be okay with me.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Mr. Steamboat, do you agree with that championship change as well?
It's a little bit, I guess, like two-sided for me, since Johnny Gargano is a former, you know, NXT World Champion. You know, it elevates the title itself, but on the other hand, what else can he do? You know, he was like before he was like the top baby face, Johnny wrestling, but now, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very true. Mr. Mike Wyatt, do you feel that was a good move on their side?
You know what? Not really. Yeah, it was too soon. You know, it was
unanimous decision. We all agreed that it was not good.
I agree.
Yeah, the match was good, but just, you know.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Just didn't. I'm assuming, you know, we did see that part with the guy with the screen mask, whoever it was, helped out Gargano to win the belt. I have a feeling it might be Tommaso Ciampa.
I knew you were going to say that, and I fucking hope.
Oh, DIY is back.
Not, dude. That angle is over.
Yeah, but
over. Stop it. Those guys are lifers. They are, for as much respect as I have for that roster, they are stuck in purgatory down there, man. Like, I know they were supposed to come up last year. I don't know why that didn't work out.
Maybe reunite DIY and then have DIY on the roster.
No. I'm not on that bandwagon either. No, I want them to never wrestle ever again. I want that to completely
as a tag team.
Yeah, I think that DIY is already done. That's a tag team, and them being
I think them fighting each other is done. It's just they need something.
We should see other people.
It's not you, it's me.
It's not you, it's me.
Let's break this couple up, guys.
Yeah, right?
They should see other people in the ring wrestling.
And obviously, yeah, we did see the House of Horror Terror between Lumis and Cameron Grimes. I loved it. Fuck you, Alvarez, because you hate Dexter Lumis's character. You're a dumbass. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're a piece of shit.
I know it's a ripoff, but I love the character.
I know it's a ripoff, but I love the character. So, like and I'm with you on this. You know, Chris, I do see Lumis. You know, what about like how you said, Damian going up now to contend for the NXT Championship, and now have Lumis, you know, take control of that North American, you know, championship.
That's the move, man. That's the only move.
I love it. I love it. Do you guys agree with that? So, Mr. White, I'll ask you. Do you agree with that?
First of all, I feel like this match for Dexter Loomis, that was a fit, super fit for him. It was creepy, and a lot of times WWE or the main roster kind of tries to do scary stuff, and it comes off as not that. This was it. This was scary, creepy, and the mood was just right. More of that. I would like to see a little bit more of that.
He really set the tone.
But yeah. As for the movements here of title pictures and all this and that, if him losing the North American title means going for the NXT title, okay, sounds good to me. Let's do it.
That's right. Do you agree with that, Mr. Steamboat, or do you have a rebuttal for that?
I guess that's a good way to go about him. Like, he drops that title for the higher one, because that's like the mid card one, and then you go for the higher one, or like the secondary to the championship. So yeah, and I like that Vampiro comparison Chris made. That I was getting that vibe too. Yeah. Just the cool, the dark swagger. A little bit of that Latin spice with the darkness.
Oh yeah,
that'll be fun to see, because Vampiro never held the WCW title, and I don't know if he was ever US. Was he ever WCW US champion at least?
He might have been TV champion.
Yeah, I think he was TV champion. I don't think he was ever the United States champion.
Yeah, so already Damian Priest, I gotta say, is got to be doing better, with the run, and he'll, like as far in NXT is concerned. So let's hope he's in that title picture. It'll be cool. So
yeah.
I mean, Finn Balor's gimmick versus.
Oh man, Vampiro was only a tag champ.
Oh wow!
There you go. He's doing way better in singles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
that
was with the Great Muta. Talk about a fucking weird team, dude.
Wow,
with the Great Muta.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even.
It was during the Sting feud, during his feud.
Yeah, that's a weird one, man.
I gotta go back and look at that, man.
That's a weird. That's so. I was expecting it to be like with Conan or something.
Right. I agree. I thought it would have been with Conan, but hey, that's a weird, diverse tag team.
Or like Jerry Only from the Misfits.
Oh,
the demon.
The demon, right? And then obviously we did see another impactful match. That was Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez. Two big women actually, and Raquel's a big, heavy girl for her.
Healthy, strong, beautiful, independent, foreigners.
Yes, and I love it. And they put a hell of a show. No, you're right. They put a hell of a show, and I like that push. And I think it's about time. Do we see Ripley now? Should she move on to the main roster, or she should stick around and help develop the NXT women's roster? So I ask you, Mr. CK1, where do you see Rhea Ripley's career from here?
They did what they did with giving her. I'm sorry. I'm reminiscing with sadness over WrestleMania where she lost the title to Charlotte Flair for no goddamn reason. Mm-hmm. I don't think she should have beaten Charlotte Flair. I don't think that match ever should have happened. Mm-hmm. At least so early in Rhea's career for a title. She was the roster hero for beating Shayna. That's ding dong, the witch is dead type of moment for Rhea.
Babyface, yeah.
Yeah, and then she just goes on to lose to Charlotte in a WrestleMania that would have been a lot better had there been people there for sure, but kind of slowed her ascent pretty quickly. I see Rhea being I don't like to compare people, but she's going to be the female Triple H someday as far as in-ring goes. Very similar style. She's very cerebral, very strong. She can talk. Now she can talk. She didn't used to talk. If you watch the old Mae Young classics, she was a different character. Physically imposing, though. Like, if you were to think who would win in a real fight between her and Io Shirai, it would be like her, for sure, all day long. Which is the reason why I think that she should be on the main roster and not given Charlotte Flair or someone of the caliber just yet. Don't reignite the feud with Shayna either. Have her maybe, I'll say it right now, Sonya Deville. That'd be the feud.
Ooh.
That'd be perfect. She's not a main eventer. She's not low rung. She's middle. It's a believable fight. They're both actual fighters. Yeah, that makes enough sense to me, man. I'd say do that. Have that be the move since you broke up Mandy and Sonya.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I love that. I love it very much. Mr. Steamboat, do you see her? Nowhere, right? He's your
Yeah,
staying.
Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is very. I could see her being very versatile. On the main roster. You could do a lot with her, especially somebody of that height and the way they fight and the way they move. Like I guess tall, like lanky people. You could do very very interesting things.
Oh, she'll ragdoll like the Iconics for sure. Something like that. They would be great.
Oh yeah, Mr. Wyatt.
I see a lot of potential in Ripley. I can say that she could probably be the kick that the women's division needs right now. Put her against Sasha, Bailey, anyone, you name it, and it's a pretty cool matchup, and I feel like that's what they needed. I think Bianca Belair was I thought that she was going to be that, but for whatever reason they're not going with her, and who knows, but on that end. But yeah, I think Ripley has star power, star quality, and I look forward to seeing her in the main roster.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect way to put it, man. Star power. Nailed it.
Love it. And obviously we did see the main event, which we see Io Shirai defeating Candice LeRae in the table ladders, the scares match. Great performance for both ladies. That's that bump that Candice LeRae took. Wow, I was just like, whoa. That for a skinny girl, but she's a tough skinny girl, no pun intended, but she took it. And
she's from
SoCal native.
Yeah, from his hometown or something, right? She's from Fontana.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Wait, is he a Montana or?
Well, Mia Kim is from Fontana, I think, and then Candice LeRae's from Riverside. That's right.
Well, okay, yeah, Riverside, California. Yeah. So I mean, where do we see who should be the one next up to challenge Io? So I'll ask you, back to you, Mr. Wyatt. Who should be the next one in line for Io Shirai's NXT Women's Championship?
I would go ahead and say Shotzi Blackheart. Why not? She did a great job hosting. She's got momentum going on. Why not? Make it happen.
I don't see her winning that title, but I see that feud being sick.
That's right. Mr. Steamboat, do you agree?
I not only agree, I think especially because of like their gimmicks, it's like they're kind of like a little bit on the dark side. They're like dark side, like at this point, Io is pretty much a baby face at this point for the most part. They started her out as heel, but they wanted her to be kind of like, get some little bit of coolness around her more than just be like this clean, like Japanese, like flyer. So just give her another dimension to her. So Shotzi, she has a lot of character to her, like microphone. She's got, the tank, all that. And
Tank is so badass, dude.
Yeah, and I love tanks.
He killed Robert Stone.
I would kill to own a tank like that when I was a kid. I wanted one of those things. I love like GI Joes and tanks and battleships and all that stuff. Like if I grew up with Shotzi, I think she would have been like one of my best friends. But I gotta say like her gimmick and Io's gimmick, like the green hair versus the red hair. That's just something cool to see. Just the imagery. Whenever you have two people with interesting gimmicks go up against each other, it's just cool to see. It's cool to watch, like two guys with different types of masks or two people, with outfits that kind of complement, like the person in the blue jacket versus the guy who always wears the red jacket. It's that kind of aesthetic. And it'll be a very aesthetic feud, to say the least.
It'll be colorful. Yeah, for sure. I get it.
Definitely. Do you agree with that, Mr. CK1?
Yeah. They're both very visually creative, and in the ring, they're equally as creative. That's pretty much it. I mean, like, I see figuratively and literally Shotzi Blackheart's a little green. I think the feud will be good, but I see Io not losing it to Shotzi if that's what her next feud would be.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. And also, you still got Ember Moon, who's back in NXT, so there's a lot of potential in the NXT women's roster, so we'll have to wait and see. And what's the next feud coming up? Garrett, and I won't be surprised there'll be an NXT takeover before Survivor Series. So then we'll look at that as well. And congratulations to NXT for actually now winning in the Wednesday Night War ratings. Obviously, they won 876,000 viewers. AEW Dynamite 781. They've made one in the viewership, but the demographics AEW took it overall. Obviously,
Demo God.
Demo Gods, obviously, they won with the ratings, but the women's won on their side with NXT. Was the rest of the remaining card, they did the best AEW, obviously. So let's jump on the AEW Dynamite, the last topic of the night.
Let's take it home.
Take it home, ladies and gentlemen. And that is, we had Adam Hangman Page defeating Wardlow to advance in the finals of the tournament to whoever, number one contendership for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So what a great opening match as well. So I'll ask you, Mr. Steamboat, your thoughts about, Hangman Wardlow match, and where do you see Wardlow's future from here, like how we discussed last week about it?
I love the opening that they're starting to give more story to like Wardlow himself. The whole like MJF's like, so if you win this title reign, you're just gonna give the title shot to me since you work for me. You're my boy. And I just love Wardlow, it's like, sure, buddy. Oh, I love you. And Sammy just getting in his face. We have great, heel versus heel moments. I gotta say that's probably like one of the most creative insults I've heard from MJF. It's like, Sammy Guevara, you look like somebody who sells Adderall.
It's such a weirdly specific insult.
With like his stuff, especially with like the dressing style. I'm like, it's like MJF. You could just tell like he probably went to high school with somebody who looked similar to Sammy Guevara pulling that same thing.
or was the one making the purchase.
There you go. He probably sold it with him.
I like that.
But there you go. But as for Wardlow, I want to see. I was actually cheering for Wardlow to win, just so we could kind of see like an out of nowhere kind of, like an almost out of nowhere kind of push, to this new talent, because these are the kind of people I've been wanting, like Adam Page and Kenny Omega to face, like these big guys, because with the way they wrestle, like Adam Page and Kenny Omega wrestle with like big guy power moves, but they also have flyer moves as well. So I want to see how they do against like guys like Lance Archer and Wardlow and Brody Lee.
There you
and
go.
the list goes on and on. So
yeah, that's
and
right.
of course, Jake Hager.
Jake Hager as well. Which congratulations to Jake Hager, by the way, for winning on his Bellator fight.
What a fight, man.
Well, I mean, I missed the fight. I was currently working, but Mr. Wyatt saw the fight, so it was a good fight. I believe so.
Hell yeah, man.
I can tell he got beat up.
Yeah, it was a test for sure.
Yeah.
I can't wait for what the future holds for him for Bellator as well. Once again, congratulations to Jake Hager. But yes, Mr. White. So I'll ask you about the opening match. What did you feel about it?
Yeah, like Matt said, or I mean, Chris Jericho said.
Yeah, baby.
No, they look so similar. I think that for someone like Wardlow, that is big, tough. There's so much potential for him. He's still young, and I would definitely. Honestly, I feel kind of like the whole MJF thing is holding him back. But we'll see down the line how far his career goes, and I would have wanted to see like how he said that, just to see that this was not a predictable tournament, because as I'm sure we'll be speaking of in a few moments, the result of the other semifinal, this tournament has turned out to be kind of predictable, including the winner of the entire thing, which we'll speak about in a bit.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Mr. CK1, your thoughts about this opening match?
What was the opening match? Was it the Pentagon and Kenny Omega?
No, the Hangman and Wardlow.
Oh, yeah. Got it. Cool. Sorry. Wardlow is a beast. He does have a wrestling career prior to AEW, and it's a damn shame he's only had 2.5 matches within the year or so that he's been on that roster. I do get it. He is the, MJF's heavy hitter. It's a very similar, almost identical angle with him and MJF that Virgil and DiBiase had, 30 years ago, where, Virgil would do the bidding of $1 Million Man, and I think eventually he got sick of it, turned on him, and that was a mini feud right there. I think that's going to happen. That's the way it's brewing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see more Wardlow in the ring in any capacity because, he's like, a feud with Brian Cage. Wardlow goes face, feuds with Brian Cage. That is just man meat versus man meat. That would make Vince drool.
Oh, that's good shit. Oh my god.
But Hangman was supposed to. If that wasn't Hangman in that match, Wardlow should have won. But since we know where that fight, the semifinals, where we know the finals are going, Hangman deserves to be there.
Yeah.
For storytelling. And we're about to talk about why when you're ready.
Exactly, and that's right. Let's just jump out, even though it's the main event, but we might as well just jump on it right now so we can give our thoughts about it. Obviously, Pentagon, Cero Miedo, losing to the cleaner, Kenny Omega, and I did like the intro. I love the cleaner's back, and then we see the two, female ladies out there with the mask of Rey Fenix and Pentagon. Just once again, a reminder, Rey Fenix was hurt. We'll get one prior before. He got injured during the match against his brother, so that's why he couldn't compete and and they moved on with, Pentagon to go ahead and take his place. Another awesome match. I love the first one was incredible. This one was even more incredible, because it was a good back and forth matchup between both of these two gentlemen. And obviously, Kenny Omega advances will be facing Adam Hangman Page at Full Gear for the winner who takes, becomes the number one contender. So I'll go to you, Mr. CK1, your thoughts about the match. And who do you see going heel? Kenny or Adam Hangman Page?
This match is definitely supposed to happen. This will end this little "are we a tag team? Are we friends?" Anxiety, is that what I'm looking for? Yeah, I guess.
I would say animosity.
Animosity, that's the word. Thank you. I'm not that smart. Hangman is over. It was, I think, unintentionally at first, but he's doing sort of an Austin thing where he's an anti-hero who doesn't give a shit what you think about him, and he drinks, and people love that. The cleaner acts like and is a heel. He will remain a heel, but he may be over just because people just love Kenny Omega. The last time there was a tournament for the title, Jericho beat Hangman Page in the finals. It's going to happen again. I see Kenny not making this change for no reason. I think he's going to brutalize Hangman Page, at least towards the end of the match. Maybe not in the beginning, maybe not the middle. But if Hangman wins this match and he gets his match with Moxley, there's no story there. Kenny and Moxley have already fought. I think they fought at the very first pay-per-view. I think that was double or nothing, right? Or all or nothing? Something like that. That's a better story. That's a better match. I don't know what you're going to do with Hangman after that. Maybe have him feud with MJF. That'd be, yeah. Because I don't know. Sammy's still feuding with Matt Hardy. So it's like chess, Until Sammy and Matt Hardy are done, we're probably going to get MJF and Hangman for some reason. We're going to get Kenny and Moxley. Eddie's probably going to move on. Eddie Kingston's probably going to move on back to a mid-card role. But that's the future of AEW right now as I see it.
All right. Do you agree, Mr. Painmaker?
I got to say, with this feud, they're going to, especially with the way Kenny works, I think Conan said this about the way Kenny calls his matches. He said Kenny looks into so many details because he hates having the same match the same way every single time. He goes to make sure he doesn't have the same match. That's how much he looks into things, is what Conan observed from him. Sure, you'll see two of the same spots, which is you cannot escape that toss into the moonsault, and then of course the one-winged angel. But of course those are the rock bottom and people's elbow. You got moves that you got to expect to see, And I enjoy those. I enjoy those moves a whole lot. So, but I mean this intro, with every single time, and he had a friend who lived in North Carolina. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do at Full Gear when he's what kind of intro Kenny's gonna get then. It's and Kenny once met a guy from North Carolina. Every single time, Justin Roberts, you did that intro specifically. Justin Roberts is so much a part of this intro.
Yeah, I love that he goes on about every title reign, every ratings reign. It's like the longest intro for anybody since Khaleesi on Game of Thrones.
Shit.
Kenny Omega also makes really decent amount hot dogs, which was said by many people in North Carolina.
Omega has 5 stars on Yelp.
Mr. Wyatt, your thoughts?
Let's see. Awesome match. Right off the bat, man. You know, Pentagon and Omega have really gone up my list of favorite wrestlers. You know, in the past few months, I can see so much charisma in Omega right now, and I'm entirely new to the whole cleaner character. All I've known of Kenny Omega is AEW. So, you know, as someone with that sort of a perspective, seeing what I've seen the past two weeks is definitely a move up in Kenny Omega. And honestly, and legit, I look forward to seeing what he does next, what he does at Full Gear. And man, you know, I see great things, including him winning this tournament, because, you know, I very much doubt that Eddie Kingston is going to take the title from Mox. So Mox is going to need
Wait, whoa, pause right there. What did you just say? You think Eddie's going to win this match?
Yes, Kenny's going to win the finals.
Okay.
Mox is going to retain the title.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought you just said Eddie was going to win the match.
No. Eddie Kingston, I don't think he's going to win the title match.
Okay.
So it's going to set up Kenny versus Moxley.
There we go.
Down the line. You know.
But do you see Kenny going heel?
Yes, absolutely.
I think he already has with that butchering of poor come on, name.
Sonny Kiss.
There we go. Thank you. I love him. I just was drawing a brain fart. I didn't see that match going down like that at all. I know, you know, it's a week later conversation, but I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Oh, it's over.
Right? With Sonny Kiss all that quick.
Yeah.
But you know what? I agree. I think these two, Hangman and Kenny Omega, I do see Kenny going heel. I know it's a lot of expectations of what I'm asking for. I'm expecting that match to steal the show at Full Gear. I'm hoping they go like an Austin and Rock WrestleMania 17 moment. This is when we see Kenny Omega going heel and just – he can't beat Hangman, and he's just, like, frustrated, and he goes balls out and then just goes fully heel and finds a way to beat him, you know, 1, 2, 3. I'd
be happy to see Kenny cheat, you know, take off a wrench or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Was Omega ever in WWE or NXT?
They want too much control of the character, and he knows what he'll do if he does.
He was in FCW as developmental.
Yes.
Like he wrestled Heath Slater when they were really young.
So he would be the first non-WWE guy to be a champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. He was said to be the one of the most successful non-WWE guys, you know, around this time period, you know, to never go there. Like people used to say that about Sting before Sting finally went to WWE.
And they buried him there. Buried him.
They buried him. So Kenny I'm kind of hoping Kenny observed that just to see, because a lot of people are drawing parallels between Sting and Kenny Omega because of that.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens when. So let's go ahead and move on with that. Let's go ahead and move on with the TNT Championship. Cody versus Orange Cassidy, the Lumberjack. I'm going to say right now, right quick, disappointed. The ending of it, the match was great. Loved it. But the ending part was bullshit to me. I think it could have been better, the ending. Wow, already. Okay, you had Silverman coming in. Sorry, but I love you, Silverman, because we're Dark Order, okay? Where's number? You're number 12, 13, and then 14. And then so, you know, that was the end of the match, them getting involved and causing Orange Cassidy to lose against Cody Rhodes, and now we see Darby Allin now competing for that. So I'll ask you, Mr. Paidmaker, your thoughts about that match. You think you should like that ending, how it ended, and what do you see Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes coming up in Full Gear?
I think Darby Allin should really get, because the last two was like, it was a tie and then a win for Cody. And I think this is really like Darby Allin should really get that win because like off, I don't know, like halfway in kayfabe, halfway out. Can't like I just talked about Sting. Cody himself has said that Darby Allin reminds him of Sting, and he has a lot of like Cody like in out of kayfabe as a shoot like really believes in is a big fan of Darby Allin, really believes in him. So I really think Cody's gonna put Darby Allin over in this upcoming match. You know, especially like this is kind of like they started it at Fighter Fest, the beginning of the storytelling and the feud, and they wanted to finally like this. I guess this is the final nail in the coffin to this whole story, and you know this is
like literal pun intended. I mean, not literally, but pun intended.
Yeah, nail in the coffin. If they might bust out a coffin, you know.
Yeah, drop.
You never know. You never know. But did you enjoy that Cassidy match? Did you want the ending different, or should he lost clean to Cody, or how'd you feel about that?
I gotta say, Orange Cassidy, you know, I've said it. I won't say it again, you know, my comparisons with Naito, but he's just a very beloved babyface. You know, you guys talked about Daniel Bryan earlier in this episode. Another YouTubers also made a comparison between Orange Cassidy and Daniel Bryan with the way the audience connects with them.
Yeah.
So, you know, we could see it's kind of like a movement coming out of them. I don't think this is quite the end of this feud, but this is definitely a landmark in this feud, you know, between Orange Cassidy and Cody. Because two matches, you know, when you get two very beloved baby faces like Cody and Orange Cassidy, you're definitely gonna get more out of it.
Oh, yeah.
This ain't the end of it. I wouldn't be surprised if those two had an Iron Man match down the line.
Wow. That'll be something right there. So, Mr. Wyatt, your thoughts about the match and the upcoming event?
You know, I feel that a part of me feels that if the crowd would have been around, I think that the Cassidy push would have had more effect, or it wouldn't have not been kind of dropped overnight. You know, he lost against Brody Lee. He's losing against Cody. You know, his stock is going down, I feel. So he needs to pick that up quick, you know, pronto. So there's that. There was this moment in the match that kind of, you know, a small moment. I believe it was Chuck Taylor. He hit Cody, or maybe it was Trent. I don't know, but one of them hit
Trent. It was Trent.
It was Trent's mom.
There you go. So, you know, Trent hit Cody. Meanwhile, the referee was, you know, distracted. So the reason I liked that moment was because that's a very heelish thing to do, done by a considered face character. So it's a little bit of gray there. I know that if Ivan was in a match, you know, against you know, Joey Chaos, for example, I would have knocked Joey Chaos, you know, to be able to help my friend, right? So, and that's the thing. Most people will help out their friends, you know. So that's not necessarily a heel or a face thing to do, but it's a friend thing to do. And you know, had it been WWE, I don't think that would have happened, you know. So anyway, that's my analysis on that moment itself. The match itself, it was cool. You know, yes, the ending could have been different, but you know, I definitely enjoyed the match itself.
Yeah, most definitely. Mr. CK1, what are your thoughts?
Obviously, I like the Dark Order enough to enjoy their on-air time. I don't know where they're going to go with Brody not having the title anymore, and I maybe, you know, you just got to put him in the world title picture. That's the only direction left for him. But as far as the TNT title goes, I do see Orange and Darby Allin maybe possibly someday holding it. I don't think against Cody. I don't think against Soon. I think the AEW version of a jobber is a bump or a rub, where a lower guy on the totem pole gets pulled up by a higher ranked opponent, but then just kind of hovers there for a while. They did it to Orange Cassidy with Jericho. They did it to so many people are just kind of getting that rub, but they're not getting the title. So I think they're going to kind of hover right below a title, which at least I'm glad there's a mid-card title in AEW right now. So you can push those new guys or the homegrown guys somewhere instead of down. But I don't see anyone beating Cody anytime soon. There's no reason to do that since he lost it so quickly, came back and redeemed himself. I think this title reign is going to be longer than the original one.
All right, definitely. We'll have to wait and see on that. And obviously, let's go ahead and move on with the she literally won the belt at at Primetime TV, flew her ass to Jacksonville, Florida, from LA to Florida to defend the NWA, Women's Championship. Serena Deeb versus legit Kayla. I can't even pronounce her name, but yeah, it was a great match. Don't want to go too much specific of it overall, but I'm loving the fact that she's now given the opportunity, how we said earlier, and I'm glad that she's getting that push now that she's signed full time with AEW. And we wish her the best, and hopefully, continue on and improving the AEW's women's roster, and that's what we're looking for as well. One thing the last thing that caught to me was off the subject with that was the Young Bucks putting that interview with FTR, saying that they're putting their championship, clause on the line, basically stating they'll challenge it for once and never challenge it ever again against FTR. Now we finally got the dream match that everybody been waiting for so long, and now with this stipulation now added at Full Gear. So I'll ask you, Mr. CK1, do you feel that the Young Bucks are going to lose, or are they finally going to beat FTR for the first time at Full Gear?
Well, not only beat FTR for the first time, but what are the title matches in AEW, like 0-5? Like,
yeah, no title. Yeah, they're 0-5.
They're like they're like ranked like number 4 because in AEW rankings matter, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I think this would be the time. But you would have to turn FTR full face to do it, because you would definitely turn the Young Bucks full heel. And the FTR are kind of anti-heroes in the sense that you cheer them because they're good at their job, but they're bad people. So you would have to absolutely find a way to get people to 100% be rooting for FTR during that match, and then have them lose for that to work. Sort of an official double switch. The good guys go bad, the bad guys go good. Do it in one match. It's been done before. It's been done once only perfectly. It was a long time ago. But I would not be surprised if this is the Young Bucks' time to go full Bullet Club, take that title, and cause their little reign of terror across the roster.
Ooh, I like that. I love it. Yeah. Mr. Wyatt, take it away.
It's an interesting concept here, putting your title chances on the line, I honestly feel that Young Bucks are going to win. But if they don't, maybe this whole super kicking random people backstage and all that stuff, maybe that's where that comes into play. I've been wondering what all that was for, and what was the point of that. The Young Bucks saying that, the Young Bucks are the old Young Bucks are back, and saying all this and that, and where was that going to lead to? Because that was I really don't think that was FTR related. So maybe their road is going to take them somewhere else if they lose. But I honestly feel like they'll win, and have a cool rivalry with FTR, leading up to, who knows, maybe a cage match or ladder match or something,
Yeah.
I like that you brought up the super kicking random staff, because as you said that, I'm thinking maybe that's the reason they lose the match. Maybe, they've super kicked a ref, they've super kicked Tony Schiavone, they've kicked random people backstage. Maybe there's going to be some kind of like staff revenge to really screw them over out of this one, and they're going to really reap what they've been sowing the past couple of weeks. You are very smart, and I love that. Thank you for being a part of this. That's fantastic logic right there. One for the Fiends.
That's right. One for the Fiends. That's right. Painmaker, take it away.
So I gotta say that I think two things out the top is that, like, the second FTR, like, they found out behind the scenes, the second the Young Bucks found out FTR was joining their promotion, AEW, I could see that both their two tag teams got on the phone and said, all right, let's start planning this. Let's start planning the whole angle. Let's start planning the match ahead of time. so we could hit every single step, every note of this concert concerto together. You know, when FT once this was before we knew about it. You know, when they were planning. So there must be something to this ahead of time though. And I already gotta say, so the fact that they enacted that clause that they can only go one of two ways. It's either the Young Bucks win, you know, it's either the Young Bucks win or the other way, if the Young Bucks lose and they never challenge for the tag team title, what they would have to do is they would have to do what the friggin' Midnight Express did back in the territory during the Jim Crockett when they created the U.S. tag titles. That would be way too much. I don't know if that'd be too. I mean, the tag team division is really big, so I guess that would give the tag team division more titles to challenge for. But I wouldn't really like that though at this point in time.
Not big enough. I don't like that either. I mean,
yeah,
you don't need.
I want the Young Bucks to win in all honesty, because it seems like you know, because them losing at Full Gear would kind of, you know, like what are they gonna do? Is that the end of the tag team? Like if they don't create, like them losing, they really do need to create those U.S. titles, or else they're just gonna do whatever, or
do
maybe
the bullshit feud where they fight each other. Like, no, please don't do that.
Or break up the Young Bucks, or the only, or you know, just say, oh, we changed our minds. You know, we'll challenge for the title. I'm like, what did that mean then? Why did you announce that?
Like throw back to when Cody still to this day cannot challenge for the AEW heavyweight title.
And the TNT title being created.
2 years later, he's three. He can book whatever he wants. He can book himself into a match where he can do that. Hasn't done it.
Yeah, because he doesn't want the audience's intelligence to be insulted.
Well, he doesn't want to be Triple H, who keep booking himself into his own wins.
There you go.
Exactly.
There's more than one.
Or Hulk Hogan. They want to do the opposite of that. So that's why this is just the one win that makes sense for everything that's been leading up for. They have to win. If they lose, I'm like, what the heck are you guys doing with the booking? Like, you gotta check them for drugs or something. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Sammy Guevara.
So we don't know. It's really unexpected. We're looking forward to seeing that. The last final highlight of the night for AEW was the Inner Circle Town Hall meeting with Tony Schiavone, obviously hosting it. That's right, Mr. Painmaker. He had Eric Bischoff coming in, obviously asking these tough questions to MJF. And now we got the match we wanted to see. We got Jericho versus MJF at Full Gear. If MJF wins, he joins the Inner Circle. I believe we discussed it in an archive prior before. So make sure you guys, archives, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys do. So I ask you, Mr. Painmaker, since you're the Judas in your mind, who do you think is going to win that one? Do you see MJF joining Inner Circle and taking over? And do we see a baby face, Judas? Do we see that happening?
Jericho does a pretty decent job as a babyface, especially with like this whole thing with Stephanie, like calling her a hoe constantly. but I gotta say that I gotta say that MJF has to win because Jericho is a firm believer in new talent, and especially in this instance, he put over Orange Cassidy, and Jericho's legend is already so solidified. It wouldn't really, hurt to put MJF over in this instance. And especially bringing him into the Inner Circle gives MJF more. Like, you can't keep the Inner Circle and MJF and Wardlow separate. And like okay, we're busy being heels over here and our worlds don't collide. That's like a separate universe. But we're not, now it's time for them to come together as like a bigger, more scary Inner Circle faction in some instances. So it's time. So yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, Mr. CK1, your thoughts?
I don't like that idea. I don't want the faction to be too big. I like the size that it is right now. So if you're going to add, you're going to have to subtract. And I think that if MJF does go in, it's going to be
Sammy Guevara.
It's going to be Sammy leaving, and I think it might actually be the beginning of the end for Wardlow too. I don't know if. Him turning on MJF would keep him out of the Inner Circle, and I can see him doing that because he still wants to be with him. But I can also see, I can see him maybe turning on Jericho to get MJF the win, and then saying, "I finally got this monkey off my back. I can go on my own. You take care of him."
I like that.
And then
I like
Sammy
that.
leaving also. So you lose Sammy and Wardlow. You gain MJF. You sort of have a rift between Pride and Powerful. Not a rift between them, but like them, they're still kind of like, man, do we go with Sammy? Do we go with Jericho?
Keep in mind the match next week, Sammy Guevara and was it Santana, or was that against?
So perfect.
Against,
So yeah, I think that would make the most sense. I think it's a sideways shift. I think Sammy stays sort of heel. Wardlow goes face. MJF does join Inner Circle. Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Powerful.
Jane Austen.
Los Boricuas 2.0.
Stone Cold Jane Austen.
Yeah, that's great. That's the only way I see MJF joining. Otherwise, if I would prefer to keep them separate entities completely.
All right, Mr. Y, do you agree?
Yeah, it was the build to this matchup has been pretty interesting. Interesting storytelling, I would say, and I don't get the sense of intensity between Jericho and MJF. It's been very calm, compared to other storylines. Jericho doesn't hate MJF the way he did Orange Cassidy. So I feel like this is not the end of it. This is a slow burn. Something is going to be built up at Full Gear. I honestly think Jericho will beat MJF. Maybe, I don't know, MJF will quote unquote let him win, and or I don't know, but we'll see what's up. But it's an interesting storyline, but I do feel that it needs to pick up the pace in intensity between Jericho and MJF, right, especially right after Full Gear.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We'll have to wait and see on that. And like you said, it's going to be a long way to see where this career, where it ends, or how this story progresses, how you say, because we don't even know. Like how you said, it's very soft. It's a slow burn. It hasn't even ignited fully yet. I agree with that 100%. And I feel that this could lead up to either babyface Jericho. That's what I see.
It's definitely not going to be babyface MJF. He's too good.
No, he's too good. He's better of a heel anyways, and I love him as a heel. He is going to be a future world champ in AEW. Mm-hmm. We already said it probably before in our archives, so I'm looking forward to seeing this match. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to go ahead and thank you guys for tuning in on this Halloween special here of the Circle of the Main Podcast, episode number 27. We appreciate you guys, and for all to our new subscribers who just joined in, we appreciate you guys for subscribing and showing our love and support. We thank you so much. Also to all the promoters out there as well. Jeremy, one of them shout out. Dirty Hills Podcast, another one shout out. I want to give also a shout out to coming up this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, we will have an interview with one of the hottest tag team in West Coast here, and actually overall, in my opinion, and that is one half of the Defy World Tag Team Champions, and that is the Rock God himself, Ricky Gibson. So make sure you stay tuned on our channel for that on Saturday afternoon. We will have that as well for you, the interview. And don't forget our top 5 also will be within that evening later on, since it's going to be Halloween. We'll put it around like 11 o'clock. So just make sure you stay tuned in that. That's another Halloween special we have, as we chose a top 5 best ring attire. So we'll make sure you guys stay tuned for that as well. And obviously, before I even basically end this, I want to give one more shout out, and that is to Jonah, who just reached me out recently, and that he has his YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Rewind Recap Live. Make sure you guys tune into that. We will put the description down below. Down below on the description, we'll put his YouTube channel right on the link. Make sure you follow his YouTube channel. He has a lot of great interviews with Hall of Famers and great legends, and it's fun. Love this work. Shout out to Jonah. Thank you very much for supporting us as well. And that's how we are here in the podcast world, supporting each other and helping each other out, promoting each other. So make sure you guys tune in next week as well, as we'll discuss who's the SmackDown members for the Survivor Series and the women's, and also NXT coming up, and AEW's Dynamite next week, and giving you our predictions, which we already gave some of it, but we'll recap it once again for Full Gear coming next Saturday, November 7th. Number 7, excuse me. So thank you very much once again for tuning in, guys. The devious one, the macho, yeah. The devious one, IBC here. What does everybody want? What does everybody need? And that's right, he is the hardcore legend himself, and that is Mr. Al Snow, the CK1. It should have been him, damn it, Chris Kennedy. And also we have the Painmaker, the GOAT,
Takahashi.
Takahashi Naito, Okada, you stupid idiot.
You just made the list.
There you go. Make the list. That is Mr. MGC Matthew Steammaker Steamboat. And also we hey, you gotta thank Chris for that one. And also we have, he's not the hero of all heroes right now because he's gone, because he let this guy in. Let him in. And that is Mr. Mike Wyatt, Mike Lopez. Same to you guys. Thank you very much. Happy Halloween, and we'll see you on Saturday, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy.
Let me in.